Hello, it's Baldy Chris once again, and this is now my third instalment of an hour of instant indie, working my way through the bundles. We're now playing a game called Thomas Was Alone, which is the third of the titles in the first bundle. And yeah, I'll get into the game in a minute. I understand it's going to look fairly simplistic, as is perhaps evidenced from the credit screen we got going there. But just quickly, the prices on UK PlayStation Store presently. The Instant Indie bundle is available at £17.99 to include Stealth 2, The Swapper, and this game, Thomas Was Alone. Thomas Was Alone is available alone at £6.49. So slightly more than a third of the overall cost of the bundle. Anyway, let's have a look what Thomas Was Alone is all about and get into a new game.
Thomas was alone. Wow, a weird first thought to have.
And that is literally the first level. So yes, Thomas is a red rectangle.
Thomas decided to start listing his observations for posterity.
And
1. The whole alone thing. 2. Portals. They led somewhere. He'd yet to work out where. 3. Falling. Thomas was absolutely fantastic at falling. He was almost as good at falling as he was at observing.
I was just going to say, you might recognise the narration. It's done by a guy called Danny Wallace, who was initially best known as a sidekick for Dave Corman, but has gone on to forge his own career as a presenter, journalist, writer.
Okay, interesting. Thomas couldn't fall past this block. Think, damn it, think. What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to... what's the word? Jump. It worked! Thomas had solved the great inverted fall mystery.
So yeah, quite a big name in the UK. He was apparently brought on board by virtue of a Kickstarter campaign.
But Thomas noted there was no real danger in missing it. The world didn't want him to fail here. It was pushing him, but gently. This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment. He was starting to suspect it might even be doing so on purpose. Man, paranoia. Thomas wondered whether the portals were actually taking him anywhere. He felt like he was making progress, but there wasn't really any way to know. He seemed to be moving predominantly up and to the right, which might, or might not, be important. It might have been paranoia again, but Thomas could have sworn the world was becoming more complicated. It always seemed to be one step ahead of his skills. It had been designed just for him. He wondered why. Was the world testing him? No, too obvious. Something about the boiling, toxic, glowing water intimidated Thomas. He didn't like it. He certainly didn't want to swim in it.
Thomas might
He
not,
made
but
another mental note.
I want to.
4. Water. Not good. To be avoided.
Oh, look at the little bits of pigment left in the water after he dies. I did not mean to do that a third time, I just failed to press the jump button. Thank goodness I reached that checkpoint.
The loneliness was getting to Thomas. No amount of observation or obsessive note-taking could combat that.
Well, I think to say that this was a graphically simple game would be a huge understatement. I'm of an age where I got to play the likes of Pac-Man in the arcades. It's not even as complex graphically as Pac-Man was. But this has apparently sold over 1 million copies, despite being moving rectangles around.
Thomas had a new theory. The world was training him. He could feel himself getting smarter. There was the mental list to consider. Over the minutes and seconds since his spontaneous generation, he'd become a pretty skilled jumper. He was evolving. He just wished he had someone to share it with. Chris took an immediate and deep dislike to the skinny red rectangle. Who the hell did this Thomas think he was?
Okay, it's a slight problem. Christopher, not to be confused with myself, can't jump as high, so he's going to have to jump off Thomas's head. I say head.
Chris had been doing fine. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times. Well, not technically graceful. It's probably the wrong word, but you know, fine. There was that skinny little runt leaping about like he owned the place.
Poor Chris. Oh dear. Swear I'm not trying to kill him as much as it might appear that I am. Thomas doing all the way down here. Gonna turn down the music a little bit if I can. Be helpful if I picked the right one there. Yeah, the rest of it should work, I think. Resume game. It's a little bit better. Seemed a bit unbalanced. The voiceover's quite quiet, but the music was quite loud. I keep killing the poor little orange one. There we are. I imagine that's the tricky part done. what with having the checkpoint come into play. I'd imagine wrongly, of course, wouldn't I? Is that it? How far do I have to come back with Thomas? No, that is it. Yeah, sometimes the scrolling to change characters is less intuitive because at the moment the Thomas character is to the left of the Chris character, but that isn't the way that you scroll to change between them, which is dictated by the order of the colours in the bottom right of the screen.
Okay, this was more like it. A glowy white thing. Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing. What would it do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him?
Let's find out. A staircase, hurrah! I imagine I'm going to need Thomas's help to get up it. I imagine correctly. Oh, I'd really like just a button to directly switch between them. Has he got... Yeah, it'd be much easier if we could just hit, say, triangle to do a direct swap between the two characters. It's especially annoying that there wasn't room for the two of them on the step at once, and Chris, or the orange one, can't jump at all.
Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate. Seriously, this made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worthwhile.
Yeah, it's certainly getting more complex.
Was this good? Because on the surface, it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure. Chris couldn't shake the feeling that things had taken a significant turn for the worse since Thomas had joined him. Sure, he'd been able to piggyback his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, to ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point.
That's peculiar. Thomas can't jump with the other character on him either. So I guess this is going to have to be done the other way round. I feel like the orange one won't be able to jump that high. And I'm correct. course. Right. Oh. Press the button at the right time. Oh, I did press jump. There's literally one button in this game. So far, anyway. I swear I'm pressing it.
Chris stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness. That would be fine. But it was all the obvious observation that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot. He hoped the next portal would split them up, if only for a few levels.
Yeah, if I'd had a button pressed to change characters there, that'd have been much, much smoother than having to wait for that platform to move all the way around. The scroll on the touchpad isn't necessarily that quick a means to do it. However, I am of the the understanding that there will be more than 2 characters at some stage. In which case, a simple button press might well not be enough. I feel like I might need to do some backtracking. Or can this character jump enough? Just about. I feel like it might be slightly generous calling them characters when shapes is probably
John
more accurate.
He knew that this was his chance, a moment to shine. This was game day.
Well, let's have a look at John, or Big Tetris Piece, as you might refer to him as. Having to be relatively precise about the movements there. Is that enough? Yes, that is enough.
This would not do. John needed room to show off his exceptional skills. As it was, he was trapped on the wrong side of these little dot things. Where did they come from, anyway? John inhaled the air of the open space, and it smelled of awesome. Time to flex those muscles, to put his training to use, time to show those little dots how it was done.
That was not how it was done.
John decided to press the switch to let the little dots catch up with him. John cared for his new allies. You could tell from the sympathetic expression he'd practiced in the mirror all these years.
Okay, well there might be some good mechanics of puzzles at work, or at least potentially coming into play at a later stage. I don't think it would have hurt to have made the characters, you know, slightly more than just blocks. I guess we must be heading down here. Come on, little orange Chris, catch up. I thought I pressed the jump button coming off the edge of this particular bit. Oh god, he's really not generous with the allowances on the button press at all. And perhaps more predictably, it's a jump that can't quite be achieved by Thomas on his own anyway. So it kind of calls into question the name of this game. Thomas was alone. He's not. Got two lots of mates with him. We're still only on the first set of puzzles.
John was happy to keep helping. He felt it was important to his image that he was seen to help the little guys.
I'm hoping that there won't be puzzles later on that require very deft swapping of the characters, because I don't find it to be a deft procedure at all. Okay, those are needed. Can't actually move past the other characters at all. I've already got ahead of myself with that puzzle. Come on. Come on, little Chris. Really? Yeah, for having to do these kind of shifting over a few pixels to allow the characters or shapes to stand on the same point as each other. I would prefer the swapping mechanism to be a little easier to handle. Of course he can't jump high enough to get onto the lift. Guessing even on Thomas's head, he still won't be able to jump high enough. He does not. Do you reckon I can kill John by squishing him under the lift? Yeah, there is room for him.
He didn't mind them so much either. The red one, Thomas, had a charming way of applauding every time John jumped.
Let's find out. Has Chris got the jumping capability to make that gap? He does not. And of course he's landed on a level that needs another character to come back and help him up. Tell you what, you'd better have enough jump capability to do this off Thomas's head. If I have to go back and do this with John as well, I'll be quite annoyed. I've got every expectation that they will need to do some kind of three-way collaboration at some point. Okay, looks like Chris can do this bit of jump by himself.
The angry orange one was less immediately likeable, but his unremitting cynicism and tutting amused John.
Really? Well, this has been quite a slog, I feel, to get this far through the level. Yeah, that certainly took a bit of doing. Now, from what I can gather, there are 10 sets of 10
A
puzzles.
floating target. This would require coordination, balance, and timing. John was sure the dots would be lost, but he was happy to guide them to triumph.
What do we got then? In what way is there a floating target? Am I missing something?
Maybe that's what the dots were for. They were there to extend John's reach, to make his performance even more impressive. John liked the thought. He decided to keep them.
Okay. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Right, that is very irritating. Right. Am I done with the little one yet? I suspect possibly not, so I'm going to keep it around just in case. Or maybe I am. Okay, 1 in the right place, 2 in the right place, and Thomas, do your thing. There we go. Wasn't quite as painful as the last level, at least.
So, this was how Claire would die. She knew it would happen eventually. She was rubbish at jumping, and she moved slowly. She felt a little like her continued existence was breaking some kind of natural order. The crumbling pillar was a dramatic death, she supposed.
She sounds like a right goth drama queen.
What? Claire couldn't shake the feeling that she was not, in fact, dead. It was at that moment that Claire realised she had superpowers.
Way to go, Claire.
She'd
You
need
can
a cape.
float.
There was no getting around that. You couldn't be a superhero without a cape. Claire didn't want confusion. If you saw a cape, that made matters clear. You knew what you were dealing with. Claire was all about communication. And, you know, floating in water, which was her superpower.
definitely be easier just to let Claire move across instead of trying to do all the jumps.
All right. Fear not, my skinny friends, for I am Claire, and I will save you. Claire needed to come up with a superhero name as soon as possible. Claire was rubbish.
Of course you can't jump, can you? Forgot. Not with other ones on top. Is she even able to get out? She can.
Claire arrived just in time, which was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive.
Oops, I thought I was controlling Claire. Clearly not. And I have drowned them both. She wasn't so good at floating after all.
Claire arrived just in time, which was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive.
Well, who's the superhero now, Claire? The dead superhero?
Claire arrived just in time, which was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive.
The timing is not exactly punishing, but nor is it forgiving.
As the water began to rise, Claire vowed to save this little rectangle in as many restarts as it took.
Yeah, maybe several restarts.
Claire wondered if Thomas would make a good sidekick. Or was she more the lone Avenger type? She'd like that. The sole hero in a world of rectangles and conveniently placed pools of toxic water.
We don't even get a Thomas in this one. Hope Chris is all right down there underneath the weight of
Told Claire
floaty goth Claire.
were a bit of a fixture here. Claire wondered why the world made it so difficult.
And I was controlling the wrong one there. Never mind. He's found his place. Come on, Goth Claire, get off the swing. It's not a swing, you know what I mean though.
Claire probably needed a nemesis, a villain who would show their true colours at the worst possible moment, hurting all she held dear. Chris was the most obvious choice. He seemed stroppy enough, and his jump was so pathetic that it conveniently avoided Claire's insecurities. Yes, Chris. Diabolical Chris. The fiendish Christopher.
I think I find it's Baldy Chris actually, but yes, I can be quite stroppy. How's floaty goth Claire gonna sink down to that? Will she sink if enough of the others get on top of her? Turns out she won't, but... Oh, does she have to push the switch? She does have to push the switch, right. That's how she gets to her bit. Right, thanks for your help, Claire. Now bugger off away from the rest of us.
Wait, where had Chris gone? Was he off somewhere, plotting Claire's downfall? If Claire was honest, and she had to be because she was a superhero, this was a troubling turn of events. Still, there were reasonably sized bodies of water to cross.
Oddly diagonal bodies of water, rather ignoring everything I've ever learned about fluid dynamics. It's not at all generous with the jumping timings. I did wonder if John was going to be good enough to leap the entire gaps. And he might be, except really is not at all generous with the jump timings. And I've been a fan of platform games for years. You get used to being able to do your jump right off the edge and it just working. But that is not the case here. Feels like we're probably not done yet. Oh no, we are. Pretty much anyway.
Moving platforms over water, eh? Claire's newly heightened senses told her that there were multiple paths across with various possible configurations of the little posse.
I suspect it's only really Thomas that needs to worry about how to cross these bits. Oop. Platform moved out from underneath him there. That's ridiculous. And it didn't that time. That's inconsistent and ridiculous. Go on, John, you can do it. Come on, goth girl. For some reason it didn't occur to me that she could get on the blocks.
They were doing really well.
Sorry, John.
Claire hoped she could get them all across. John was fully aware he could do this alone. Thomas hoped he'd never have to.
Oh, she won't be able to get out with anyone on her back, will she? That's slightly more annoying. Oh, never mind, Thomas is going to live anyway. There we go, Thomas. John said he could do this on his own. Turns out he was absolutely correct. Come on then, goth girl. Slightly surprised I've not encountered a trophy yet. You think you get them for every set of puzzles completed or something like that? Okay, well this is strange. Can she jump that gap? She can.
Claire was alone, which was odd, because she wasn't meant to be alone. She needed to be where there were rectangles to save. Being the only superhero in a given space kind of defeats the object. Spikes? That was new. Claire avoided them.
After the
She
first few
decided
times anyway.
They were most likely her kryptonite. Not the rubbish red kryptonite either, the proper radioactive green stuff.
Okay, he did get, weirdly, a lot more leeway with the jumping off point with this character. Not the apex of the jump, of course, but... So, I don't 100% know whether to qualify this as cheap or inventive. It looks like it's the same puzzle map as the the last time round,
Wow.
only with
Déjà vu.
2 characters.
The world was repeating. And this time Thomas was here. Claire felt something had gone wrong. There was a disturbance in the force.
Whoops,
Something
sorry
had
Thomas.
altered the matrix. The world was reacting to their progress. It was amassing its forces. It was plotting against them. Claire finally had a nemesis.
Claire's nemesis is the world. She couldn't be more gothic if she tried. Oops. Oh, come on, Claire, get it right. And yes, it's absolutely Claire and nothing to do with me whatsoever. Oh, for fuck's sake, come on. Can't you be like Thomas? Thomas just gets the job done. We did that time anyway. Thomas, settle down. That the bobbing mechanic is just enough to catch you out. Okay, so who's the long pink one?
Laura was pleased this one was behind a wall. Maybe he'd never know what she could do. Maybe they could just have a conversation. Hang out. As long as he didn't find out what she could do. Which would never happen so long as they stayed separate. Laura didn't have time to worry about the ominous pixel cloud. It had been following her for some time, and it had kept itself to itself until now. More important was the little orange thing, which was looking at her in a way that she kind of, well, liked.
Okay, trampolini Laura.
As the square, who had shyly introduced himself as Chris, bounced atop Laura, she began to worry that he was just using her like all the others had. They'd all bounce too, and then they disappeared when her back was turned.
Now, I didn't want to mention it, but some of those dialogues just lending themselves to it. I'm called Chris, obviously, and I used to have a girlfriend called Laura. So some of that dialogue just sort of takes on maybe not a new significance, just an innuendo all of its own when you hear about Chris bouncing away on top of Laura.
Only the ominous pixel cloud ever remains, looking a little bigger and a little less hungry with every disappearing friend.
Come on, Chris, get bouncing on Laura again. Okay. So, ironically for Laura, who does trampolining, she actually can't jump very high at all.
With every bounce, Laura found herself less and less irritated by Chris. She started to miss him when he wasn't there, on another platform or something.
Chris actually seems to be able to do better bounces at this point than he has managed previously.
She'd wonder what he was up to. Was he missing her? He wasn't saying very much.
Not quite enough bounce there. Sorry, Chris. Can he make this bit without a trampoline effect then? He can. There we are.
Chris was in love. She was perfect. He had to tell her so. At some point, he would definitely tell her. Probably best to wait for a moment the large, ominous pixel cloud wasn't about, though. Yeah, probably best to wait.
A curious coincidence. The Laura that I mentioned used to make me read Danny Wallace's column in Shortlist magazine to her. There you go. Chris, Laura and Danny Wallace back together at last. the trio the world's been waiting for. Okay, right, well, the series is an hour of instant ending. We've had just over an hour of this particular title. And it's got some interesting puzzle mechanics in it. I felt like it was maybe just starting to get slightly more interesting with the way they all interacted together. Be interesting to have a puzzle that brought about all 5 of the characters have been using so far. Like I say, slightly strange that I haven't encountered any trophies just yet. Maybe there aren't any, full stop. I didn't think that was a normal occurrence for PlayStation games, but I might be wrong. But anyway, that's it for this episode. So you've had a good taste of Thomas Was Alone. It looks like I've got probably about a third of the way through the game in total, although I suspect the latter two-thirds would be more complex than the first third has been. So it's not necessarily a third of the duration of the game, but a third of the volume of the game. For me, it's been the weakest in the first bundle. I liked Stealth 2 quite a bit. I, in fact, liked Stealth 1 even more than I liked Stealth 2. But Stealth 1 is not in this bundle, but Stealth 2 was definitely a good game, and the Swapper seemed very interesting. The Swapper is one I will probably come back to. Not so sure that Thomas Was Alone is one I will come back to, and I'm also sure it's not a great spectacle given the oversimplicity of the graphics. It would have definitely helped to have something slightly more than just coloured shapes. I mean, though, graphically speaking, that is 40 years out of date, if not more. So that was, I think, probably the major letdown with this title so far. And I think this title is also the weakest link in the first bundle, but nonetheless, still 3 games with all of a sort of overarching puzzle theme attached to all 3 of them, and 18 quid for the lot, not too bad. Even better if you can get it when it's on sale. But yeah, we'll be moving on to Instant Indie Bundle 2 in the next episode, where I'll be seeing Nova 111 or 111. I don't know how it's pronounced. It might even be Nova 3 if it's in Roman numerals. I don't know, but we'll get to have a look at that in the next one anyway, and find out a bit more about it. Like, for example, exactly what its name is, because clearly I don't know right now. But that's it for this episode, so thank you for watching. If you did like what you've seen and want to see more of my stuff on Twitch, please follow me. I'll be quite happy to follow you back for anyone that does follow me. And there's plenty of my stuff over on YouTube under the username BaldyChris, so go there, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that sort of stuff. That would be marvellous. But thanks for your time so far. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.